throw in a flame, it will suck in air. Okay, this thing is a vortex burner, very small flame, but it's for the size of the flame, the amount of fuel that's being fed to it, and oxygen being piped directly into it. So we're pushing oxygen, pushing fuel in this flame, and it's got a half-moon shape in there. I have to show you that.
So where is it the vacuum?
The vacuuming takes place in the vacuum cleaner. Okay, all right. She's going to get me later. She's going to get me.
We're together all day tomorrow. So. Remember that, Blake.
Don't forget, this is the president of a multi-million-dollar company that does scan-free cranes that pick up.
That is mine. This is my camera. Yeah, he walked to walk through this motherfucker from point A to B.
Anyway, so this is the B module.
That's when
A,
we
B,
recorded.
and C module is how they're constructed. The C module is simply a cap to direct the exhaust flow. The B module is actually the filter media. The A module is the burn chamber. So there's two clips here that bands will come off, and whatever it takes to get to them too. Because sometimes these are buried down inside that machine. So some other things might. Yeah, lift the B module out. There's the HEPA vacuum cleaner. That's important to remember. It's a triple filter system. There's a large media filter that it hits first to take the big chunks out, and then a finer one, and then finally the really super fine filter bag that catches the ash. So
you have to take it out to clean.
Yes, you do. Yeah. In the past, I've seen where guys take an apple and blow it out like that. Okay. It works.
It works. You in the field, you better get that shit done.
You sometimes see they take them out and spray them with pressure, and then that would ruin it.
Yeah, you spray with a pressure washer, you just bought a new filter. Because you got to figure this thing is, guys know what the law of capillary attraction is. Okay, liquid will seep along a very fine mesh surface. Okay, once you fill this with water, you're going to have to play hell getting it out. You can cook it, water will cook out eventually. But, however, it's already broken down the cement between the sections. These are all sections because we couldn't get this into this container if they weren't, and probably couldn't even make the damn thing. They're just all about yay big around. The older style is square, the new style is kind of at an angle, but they're all put in there just so, and cement bonded. And once that bonding breaks down, figure the velocity of this exhaust stream going in and hitting this. Okay, and then there's your end cap on the end. And the machine vibrating, that cement breaks down. Next thing you know, you got all these pieces rattling around in there, and you get no filtration whatsoever, which suits the owner just fine, but it's not going to work for him. The car, yes, sir.
Now, in order to pull that off, you got to be hazardous certified too, right? To handle hazardous.
It doesn't have to be hazardous certified. He just has to be able to have a place to put it and account for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Say, hey, I gathered quarter cup out of this, and I put it in the bin. It's like brake fluid or paint, things that you just don't want to dump in the trash.
You just got to properly dispose of it, right?
Properly dispose of it, yeah.
And the cost of that falls back on the owner of the machine?
You can charge them.
The dealer, and of course the dealer bills, and we kind of hide that in the bill.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't hide it. I tell them right up front.
Exactly. That's good business.
Well, for the railroads, any company, big company, the bigger the company, the more their exposure or visibility is. So one of the deals, if you just bought a system, I charge them for it. It's added on to the cost of the system. But they know that they can come back to me, and I will send, like for the BN, I send to NDP, I send the copies of the documentation to their designated person, and I keep a copy in the file for each machine that shows that they were disposed of according to the manifest.
Right. Yeah, because that have to be
And
law.
I said, and I don't work for free.
So that way, somebody comes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now you mentioned that they connect a computer, a laptop to this.
Yes.
Is that to troubleshoot it if
Right.
it's something wrong,
Right.
or is that for everything to not only troubleshoot it but to also find out if there was tampering
No,
or what have you?
there's that, and tampering hardly ever happens, but occasionally. But it's more to get the temperatures. We want to see, for instance, here's a scenario. Okay, we put it in regeneration. I'm just going to go ahead and do that as a guy to do since we're out here. All right, hold it down for 5 seconds. That's okay. All right. All right, this is the can blowing fresh air into the chamber, clearing out the old gas. It's going to be a very short cycle too, by the way. It'll never be short. This has just been engineered for my display.
35 minutes.
Okay. We got glow plug blowing in there. We got the fuel pump squirting fuel. If I had diesel fuel hooked up to this right now, shoot it. And light up. In fact, I can smell it burning a little bit. There's a little bit of residual fuel in that pump. And so that's burn one. Notice, very soon here, slowing down, hear that? Okay, burn two. Don't need as much fuel, so let's economize. Now we're blowing and burning the remainder out, and that's the end of the cycle. That's the last thing that happens.
Okay.
And then the light's going to come on, engine ready.
It's a green go light.
So that's 35 or 40 minutes. What has happened here, too, by the way, I've had this plugged in since I've been here. Okay, that's feeding 12-volt signal to this controller.
I'm trying to
Okay,
get, I'm
that
getting
12-volt
cards.
wire comes off of either the alternator, and my favorite place
I'm
to put
getting
it
cards
is
if you
the oil
got
pressure
one.
sensing switch. And the reason being, you have oil pressure, you have an engine that's actually running, not an engine that's got the key on. Okay, the runoff of time. So the clock in it is saying, okay, this is a work hour, this is a work hour, this is a work hour. It also senses back pressure. That's why we have this plastic tube here. This plastic tube senses this back pressure of the exhaust stream coming in. Very, very important. And every DPF has a back pressure sensor. It has to, because we don't want to be buying new engines. The back pressure sensor, if it trips 10 times in a row, will throw a code. Because it thinks that it's full of white ash. It says, oh, I've gone through regeneration. I know I've gone through regeneration, but I'm still plugged up. What's going on? It must be the ash. So we throw a default code of white ash. Sometimes it's not a case of white ash, it's a case of engine blow. Yes, sir.
What would you do with liquid contamination?
Liquid contamination? So
Like,
blow a turbo and throw fluid in there?
yes.
Radiator fluid?
How much percentage of, let's say, the exhaust is contaminated with just water, or
It's done.
huh?
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah. How would you prevent it from going to that exhaust?
You have a decent run, you can't have a decent running engine, shit.
Yeah. If you blow a turbo,
Have a good
you
running
gotta blow
engine,
the
shit,
turbo,
that's how you
You
prevent
know,
it.
and that's why we try to educate the operators of the equipment. You know, if you experience a sudden loss of power, shut it down. If you have a DPF on it, shut it down. You may save your DPF because it can take the first 30 seconds, first minute
And that's it.
of that. Yeah. There's no set because there's no one engine blows up the same way every time. You know, there are a few brands. But
Go ahead, that's it.
This is good. Quality stuff.
That with the engine running.
Man,
depends on-
that's what I'm talking
The question
about.
she's asking is, if turbo blows and starts throwing oil into the filter, and then not just our filter, there's other brands too.
Into the cooler.
It starts throwing oil into the cooler or the exhaust stream.
They said the cooler, they replaced the cooler and the turbo.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. But if it had a Huss filter system on it, and it was throwing oil
I
past
need
that
to get her
turbo
over there.
into the
She asked
exhaust
me a
stream,
question.
and they caught it in the first right away, what'll happen is the next burn cycle will be very smoky, okay? But if they let it run and just keep trying to get it, I gotta get the day done, you know, and keep going at it, which it's happening. And you can pour oil out of this thing, just dump
And
it up there and
if
just
that
rush
happens,
out.
is it the $7,000 part that needs to be replaced, or more than that?
Yeah, no, it's that.
Generally, just the middle part.
It's $7,000 plus these gaskets are about $100 a piece because they're high temperature, they're reusable. Yes, sir.
So if you're fixing your engine, you have to isolate that before reconnecting your engine out.
Yeah, you know what? If you've got your engine in your machine in the shop, or you're working on it in your own shop, and you take this thing off and take it out of your way, do your engine, fire it up when you're done, do your opacity test, make sure everything's right, and then
Before
the
you
last thing
install
you do, then you put this back on. So run all your tests and stuff. It's just you don't want to be running down the road with certification on the side of your vehicle or with a red tag on the side of your piece of heavy equipment that says, I'm cool, when this isn't on there. Because you get caught doing that, and that's when you get fined.